Yeah, hello, and thank you for the invitation and for the opportunity to speak here. And as Hannah said, I'm biologist, and I was so overwhelmed with all these great presentations today, already referring to nature. So I will take you maybe now a little bit more into our human body. So, have you ever made a decision about money and later realized it didn't come from clarity, but maybe from pressure, from urgency, or even from fear? Many women are building wealth today, but at the same time, they are quietly exhausting that system that makes wealth possible. So we talk a lot about strategy, scaling, mindset, but almost never do we speak about the system that drives all this, our biology, our body. So in the next few minutes, I want to show you three things. Why building success without recovery creates biological debt, why your internal state shapes every financial decision that you make. And the third, why mastering your thoughts is not, you could say, mindset work, but it is honestly biological regulation. Because your nervous system is your internal investment climate, so to say. And that climate determines how you build and how you sustain wealth. Let me show you what I mean. Your brain and body are not designed for constant output. They are designed for a cycle, activation and recovery. But many high performing women, and especially those building businesses, they stay in activation mode all the time, always thinking, always deciding, always performing, and always responsible. Yeah, and biologically, this creates a problem. Stress hormones remain elevated. Your nervous system stays in alert, in stress mode, and the recovery process is suppressed. So even if you are building wealth externally, internally, you are depleting this very system that makes it possible. And this is what I call biological debt. And like financial debt, it accumulates silently until the performance suddenly drops. So let's talk about decision making, because this is at the core of wealth creation. We often assume that decisions are rational, that we think, analyze, and choose. But neuroscience shows something different. Your internal state comes first, and your decision follows. So if your system is regulated, balanced, you have access to clarity, long-term thinking, visions, your creativity, and a balanced risk assessment. Yeah. But if your system is in stress mode or even subtle anxiety, your brain will shift into survival mode. And in that survival state, you focus only on short-term decisions, short-term safety. You become more reactive than active, and your thinking narrows, and your emotional reactivity increases. So you are no longer emotionally balanced. Yeah. So if you are building wealth while feeling pressure, fear, or urgency, you are not making the same decision as you would in a regulated, relaxed state. And over time, that changes your entire trajectory. Now, here is where it becomes even more interesting, because what activates the stress response is often not the situation itself. So, like this year, this month, I did not earn enough money. Yeah, it's not the situation, it is the thoughts you have about it. There was a deadline, a financial risk, an unexpected setback. So the question is not just what is happening, but what are you telling yourself about it? Because thoughts like, this might fail, I am not doing enough, I could lose this money. Yeah, this is not just mental, but it triggers also emotions. So then it triggers a biological stress cascade. So your nervous system is activated and the cortisol level rises and your brain shifts into stress, into threat processing. So what I recommend is thought hygiene, being more aware of what you think. So the way you observe and then you regulate your thinking, this is not luxury. This is a core skill for high quality decision making. And especially if you want to build wealth, because decisions made under fear are usually not the decisions that create expansion. Yeah. And this is particularly relevant for women building businesses, because many of the internal drivers, high responsibility, perfectionism, the need to get it right, increase the likelihood of operating in stress state. So this is not about the capability, but about regulation, nervous system regulation and thought regulation. So let me summarize this for you. If your internal state shapes your decisions and your decisions shape the results, then the most powerful lever for building sustainable wealth is not outside of you. It is how you manage your own biology, not by pushing harder, but by regulating better. Because sustainable success is not just built through strategy, it is built through a system that can actually sustain it. So your nervous system is your internal investment climate. And that climate determines how you build and how you sustain wealth. So thank you for today. And if this resonates with you, just reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Doris Bell. I do have a question. I was wondering if you could do a little bit more of a deep dive when you were talking about our nervous system, the I think you called it thought hygiene.
Yeah.
Is there one or two tips that you could give us when it comes to thought hygiene, like that we can do? Because oftentimes women are under this insane pressure. And so our thoughts become a cluster of things.
Yeah. So what we think, often we are not aware of it. So this is the first step, that once we feel like under pressure, we take breath. That has been said today already. Yeah. And just take like 5 to 6 seconds, not more. It doesn't need more, but to relax. And then your prefrontal cortex is able to work again, to think. Otherwise, it will be it's a tiny piece in your brain, amygdala, that will take over. And that is just triggered by any kind of fear. yeah, and being under pressure. And if you have the luxury, and if you take that moment to calm down and then to be more aware of what you think, you can start moving that thought into a little higher direction. So question what you tell yourself. Often that voice is not from you. It might be the voice of your mother or of your grandmother or of someone else from who you met in your early childhood. Yeah, so there are a lot of these programs running in our subconscious mind that we are not aware of. So it's subconscious. And you can then try to shift these thoughts, what you say to yourself, and make it a bit more positive. So we work a lot with affirmations, but that's not enough, of course. Yeah, but just by moving to a more encouraging speech, so what you tell yourself. Yeah, so, oh, I did it again, how lazy, how crazy, or what a fool. Yeah, so these are the things that we usually tell ourselves. I mean, everyone has another voice, an internal voice, but this is exactly that you first need to become aware of. And that is already, I would say, a highway to success. Once you have understood that, and that you can change it, and that you will no longer, I mean, the triggers will still be there, but maybe you will not act as much emotionally to these triggers. Does this maybe answer your question?
It does. And I really love how you made it simplistic and just the thought hygiene. I mean, we have body hygiene, right? So why
Yeah,
not have thought hygiene?
yeah.
So thank you. How can people connect with you?
Yeah, I have a website, dorisbell.de, and on Instagram, it's Coach Dr. Doris.